Hi everybody. We've got another solar generator project underway here. This is a smaller unit, 500 watt. And as you can see, I've selected a DeWalt toolbox for the case. Seems so far to be working out pretty well. I've got most of the hardware mounted. Show you the inside. You can see I've got a fuse block down there that I've not yet mounted, and cables for the recharger, the trickle charger, solar panel cables that will mount to the controller, power cord that will plug into the inverter and is connected to my outlets. I found equipment placement and mounting to be one of the challenges of building these units. You know, you try to keep the box or the case as compact as possible, but at the same time, you need to get a lot of equipment and wiring in there, and you want to leave room for aeration, for cooling. So, for example, on the top of the unit, I've mounted what I call my USB panel, okay? It has my DC volt gauge on-off switch. It has USB ports and a cigarette lighter type port, okay? Now, the top of this particular case actually is designed for small parts. So I cut into the top and I cut into the base so that these wires and so on would stick through fine. And the reason I did that is because this unit is important to me. You're going to be using these ports often, especially on a small unit, and you always want to be able to easily access your DC volt gauge. So this was the most logical place as far as I was concerned. And that's why I did all that cutting. Not a big deal. This plastic cuts easily. You use hole saws, you use drill bits, multi-cutters, and so on. There are a lot of different ways to cut. On the front, I've mounted my power switch for the battery. Okay. And this particular outfit is for my solar panel, which will plug right into this. I've already attached the end of the cable, you can see here, to my solar panels cables. So that'll pop right in there. Nice and easy. There's also a small pilot light here, which will tell me from a distance when my battery is turned on or off. On the left side, I've mounted my outlet box. On the back, I have my outlet, or inlet actually. You plug in your power cord to turn on the battery maintainer / trickle charger, whatever you care to call it. Okay, this nice light, very handy. I think it's only 18 watts, so it doesn't use much power. On-off switch for the light. And that's where I'm at so far. Now I need to mount my fuse block. And once I get that mounted, I can start wiring. When you look at these units online, which, trust me, there's some great videos out there, especially, as I've said in my last video, modern survivalists. They have a great step-by-step. I believe there are 4 videos on YouTube. However, everybody mounts their solar controller vertically. This is the solar controller. Still got the plastic wrap on it. And they mount these things vertically in there. And it makes it difficult to see the screen. This screen is important because it will tell you if there are any errors. It'll tell you if things are charging properly or not, and so on. You need to be able to access that. And to have to stick your head in a case with a flashlight to see what's going on is a pain in the neck. So here's what I've done. I cut a board, then I split it in half, painted it. And this particular board will go in here when I get it out of the way of my switch. And the other half goes in here as well. And the equipment will mount on top. I had to cut a little hole here for my switch that was placed a little too high. Anyway, all worked out fine. So these boards are just sitting in here. They're nice and sturdy, okay, easy to lift out. And now I can put my controller here, mount it. There's a space here for my wires to come up. 2 for a photovoltaic cell, the solars, and power, negative and positive power. Okay, and then there's a cord here, a plug-in cord that goes to a sensor, a temperature sensors that you place on top of the battery so that it can know if the battery gets too hot, it'll shut off, and so on. And there's another port here for a remote control, a Bluetooth remote control, so you could control or monitor everything from your smartphone, okay? And then on this side, I will mount my inverter. Extremely handy way to mount this inverter because unlike the larger ones, this 500 watt inverter does not have a remote switch. So whenever you want to turn that on, you need to physically turn it on here. So now at least it's up top. Plenty of room for my cables. Cables in the back going to the battery. Okay. And access to another port and 2 more USBs should I need them, in addition to the ones that I already have mounted on the top of the box. And of course, the 120 volt on the side. So I will also here, probably with a piece of Velcro, be mounting a battery charger or a maintainer, okay? The reason I like to have that up top is also because it has lights. It has monitoring lights that tell you can see that, it tells you what the status of the charge is. So when you are maintaining the battery through the trickle charger, it's nice to be able to just open the case and see exactly what the status is, or leave the case open and be able to see at an instant what the status is without having to go and hunt for it inside a box. Granted, it may look a little nicer inside, but this is much more convenient. So now I will start wiring. Okay. I think I've got all the wiring in place, and here we go. We've got our controller, the maintainer that we talked about, battery maintainer, trickle charger, which, as I said, I don't want to permanently mount it. This piece of Velcro here, it's not going anyplace. But as you'll see in a few minutes, it's better here because we can see the lights. And of course, the inverter, okay, which we can shut off separately if we decide that we only need DC power. Anyway, here we go. Everything is mounted. Everything is wired. You'll see the cables that are plugged in for the solar panel. There we go. For the time being, I'm using the 175 watt solar panel that I bought from Renogy for my large solar generator kit. Our on-off switch. I've tested everything. The ports work. The light goes on. 13.3 volts. I've tested both ports. Both work fine. Again, we talked earlier about the beauty of having this controller visible, okay? As I said, so many people mount them vertically in a dark case, and it's very hard to see the screen. And there are many functions of this screen that will guide you and make sure everything stays safe, okay? Nice light, really nice. And just as with my large solar unit, if I plug this in, we can come up here and we will see our lights. It's been set to a lithium battery, which I was a little confused at first. This particular maintainer, I had connected it, tried it, and I was unable to change it. It started out on lead acid battery, and I kept pushing the button here, and it did nothing. A little investigation, because they don't give you good instructions, at least not in English. But I found out that I had to disconnect it from the battery, then plug it in. I was able to change the mode to lithium, right? And then I could hook it up. And now it stays that way. It stays on lithium every time I turn it on or off. So I've got a red light, and we've got 13.3 volts coming out of our battery right now. So, you know, when it gets up to about 13.8, that'll turn into a green light. Nice little project. Handy unit to have. Good luck, guys. You can do it. Okay? I will attach a parts list. Either attach it or have it as a separate video. Okay? Thanks. Have a good one.